Welcome to the Real Estate Deep Dive with Paul D. Garrison from JP and Associate Realtors. Today we're going to take a look at home prices and what's really going on with them. So again, you've probably heard me say this several times, but headlines here are often frighten more than they enlighten. Today I'm going to talk about why that's likely to happen when talking about home prices here in the near future. A big part of that is most of these articles are going to be looking at median home prices, which is basically meaningless. It really has no importance or value in today's real estate market. So then why are they using it? Well, it's the number that NAR reports on. It's the number that Redfin and some other companies like to report on. It's the quickest number to get. And it gets you a number instantaneously. And in normal markets for the last 25 years, that's been a decent number to look at. But in a volatile market, it's the worst number to look at. Again, it has no importance or value in today's real estate market. And let me kind of help explain why. So here's a simple way to explain the median value. Let's say you have 3 coins in your pocket. You line them up in ascending value, lowest to highest. And if one of them is a nickel, two are dimes in your pocket, the median value of those coins, the one in the middle in your pocket, is 10 cents. If you have 2 nickels and 1 dime in your pocket, the median value of the coins in your pocket is 5 cents. In both cases, a nickel is still worth 5 cents and a dime is still worth 10 cents. The value of the coins didn't change. In today's housing market, we're selling more of the less expensive homes, thus driving down the median price, but it doesn't accurately reflect the value of each house. So think of it this way, the mix of homes that are selling currently has changed. We're selling more of these less expensive homes. So that's what's causing it to not accurately reflect the value of each of these homes. So this issue was actually brought up by the Center for Real Studies at Wichita State University. The median sales price measures the middle price of homes that sold, meaning that half of the homes sold for higher and half sold for less. It's not very useful for measuring home price appreciation because it's affected by the composition of homes that have sold. For example, if more lower price homes have sold recently, the median price would decline because the middle home is now a lower priced home, even if the value of each individual home is rising. Okay, great. So the numbers that NAR and all these other companies like to report on aren't the best to represent what home prices are doing. So what do we look at then? Is probably what you're asking. Well, Bill McBride from Calculated Risk actually touches on this. Median prices are distorted by the mix, and repeat sales indexes like Case-Shiller and FHFA are probably better for measuring prices. So let's take a look at these indexes as a more accurate way of looking at home price movement. So the key thing to understand about these indexes is it takes time to gather all this information and compile it into these indexes. So they do tend to lag a little bit. So you'll notice in this chart here of the Case-Shiller indexes that it's actually reporting on March's numbers, even though we're in June already. So the key thing with them, again, is they're accurate, but not necessarily fast. So you kind of have to ask yourself, do you want to be quick or do you want to be right? So let's take a look at what Case-Shiller is kind of saying. What happened is, towards the beginning of the year, everything was flying along pretty well, but then interest rates kind of started to rise, and about June, July timeframe, prices started dropping. Everyone was predicting a bunch of inventory was going to come on the market, but it didn't. And we see, prices drop and then kind of start to bottom out and start to come back up. We actually see them actually start to rise again in February and March. Here's one thing I want to kind of call to your attention. In this case, it took 6 months for prices to return to a positive or upside. Back in 2008, it actually took 6 years for prices to return to the positive. So again, kind of a nice rebound there to kind of put things in perspective. So in this chart, we're looking at the Federal Housing Finance Agency's index. It's the month-over-month percentage change in home value seasonally adjusted. Now, you'll notice the numbers are a little bit different from the Case-Shiller. That's because they're looking at slightly different things. So the numbers are different, but the trend's still very similar. So again, following the trend, we're flying high in the early months of the year. Come June, July, interest rates rise, market prices dip. We go down, we actually see a little bit of a rebound, and then they drop a little bit again, and then they start to come back in February, March timeframe. Another key index to look at is by CoreLogic. Again, slightly different numbers, but looking at the overall trend, it maps very similar to what we saw with Case-Shiller and FA's index as well. Starting out the year nice and high, and then come June, July, when the interest rates rise, we see the house prices dip, but then they start to rise again in February, March. So same similar pattern. As a matter of fact, here we'll look at them all three of them on the same screen, so we can see that pattern together. We see the market running nice and high early in the year. Prices dip down as interest rates go up, but then because inventory is still tight, the market prices actually start to rebound in this year. Now, no one has a crystal ball, but I'm thinking that's going to continue on. That said, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Capital Economics released a report here just recently saying that the pause in price declines may prove to be temporary, that the resilient 2003 spring housing market may see home prices continue to fall in the second half of the year, or revert back to a correction mode, as they put it. Now, again, no one has a crystal ball, but a lot of others are reporting that they're seeing that prices are starting to stabilize. Again, here's Zillow's chart of month over month percentage changes. They're seeing that similar trend and seeing that the home prices do seem to be stabilizing. And here's Fannie Mae's chart. Now, they only do it quarterly, and they haven't released Q2 numbers yet. We can see here a similar pattern from a quarterly basis. Again, nice price appreciation. We had the 2 down quarters, and then Q1 being an up quarter. I'm going to leave y'all with one last thought. Is the key thing to remember about real estate, and again, we're talking national numbers here, is it's very, very local, very region specific. This graph here shows year over year sales by region, and you can see it varies quite a bit depending on the region. Some parts of the country were up while others parts were down, and this gets even more specific when you get to the state level. And with the volatility that we've seen this year, I've even seen it so much so that even in the same city, 2 different zip codes, one zip code can be up while the other zip code can be down. It really just depends about that mix and what metrics you're looking at and that sort of thing. So really talk to your local expert, talk to your real estate agent. Please give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about your specific area, your specific needs. Many of the metrics and numbers in this presentation are based off of the national real estate market. However, local areas can vary. Please give me a call and we can discuss your situation. Have questions about your specific needs or location? Please contact me at 214-683-8188 or paul@pauldgarrison.com. Want more information about the housing market and related issues? Be sure and check out my blog at www.pauldgarrison.com. Thank you for your time. Please take a moment to visit our website at www.pauldgarrison.com.